Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Money Manziel MMA channel. Today, I am finally bringing you my full UFC 322 fight card predictions. We're going to start with the main event. We're going to work our way all the way to the first fight of the night. We're not going to waste anybody's time, and let's get right into this. The first fight of the night, Della, Maddalena, and Islam Makhachev is the main event. Not the first fight of the night. I don't know why I said that. JDM is coming off that win in May over Belal Muhammad. I rewatched that yesterday. Not as dominant as I remember. It was very competitive, but still a great performance nonetheless. Islam is coming off a quick finish back in January over Renato Moicano at UFC 311. Islam is a sizable favorite. Now, should he be this sizable of a favorite? No, not in my opinion. I think he should be closer to like a minus 195, minus 200 range. In terms of who I believe is winning this fight, I'm not going to shy away from the same prediction I made on Tuesday. I believe Islam Makhachev wins this fight, and I just want to say this in a quieter voice. I think he might outstrike JDM. I think Islam might outbox JDM. I need you to understand this, right? I urge everybody to go back and watch JDM versus Belal. You're telling me that Belal didn't touch up JDM the entire fight? He wasn't cracking him with jabs, twos, a couple of hooks that looked like they got through. JDM did not have an easy time with Belal's boxing, and I guarantee you Islam's boxing is better. Watch the Dustin Poirier fight. Islam's using all sorts of combos, step-in knees, elbows, 1-2s down the middle. The clinch was nasty. I think his striking is unbelievably underrated. He's been working on it for over a decade now. I think that he's going to shock people with how he wins this fight. I think Islam outstrikes him, lands more significant strikes to win a decision, in my opinion, versus JDM. Could see a finish. It would be a submission in my eyes if it was a finish, but we'll have to see what happens there. I really like Islam to win this fight. Listen, it's not that I don't rate JDM as a high-level boxer. He is. He's a little unorthodox, which is interesting. He really land kind of winging punches from different angles. He'll show you different looks, feints. He loves to feint low like he's going to shoot, but he really doesn't. The issue to me is that JDM is a little stupid. He's got a Leon Edwards trait to him. In the Belal fight, 2 or 3 times he tries to do hip tosses on Belal Muhammad, which, by the way, do not work at any point. It actually puts him on bottom once or twice. So I worry that JDM, in the later rounds, if it gets to desperation, if Islam wins the early rounds, if it gets to desperation, I think he's going to try something dumb and try and do like a judo throw or, some real nonsense. And I kind of worry that Islam's going to take over and that mistake will cost him. Who knows? Maybe I'm lying. Maybe fucking JDM goes out there and flatlines Islam in the first round, but I'm going to stick with my Islam pick for now, and I'm not switching up on it. So shout out to Islam Makhachev, new welterweight champion. Valentina Shevchenko and Zhang Weili. Valentina is coming off the win over Manon Fior, also on the same card as JDM in May. And Zhang Weili has not fought since UFC 312 in February. Very interesting matchup here. This is the highest level women's MMA fight we may ever get outside of Shevchenko and Joanna back in the day was very high level. Weili and Joanna was very high level. This is as high level as it gets. Shevchenko's a flyweight champ. Zhang Weili's a strawweight champ. Both are on win streaks. Both are finishers. Shevchenko doesn't have as many finishes, but they both are capable of finishing girls, which is unfortunate now that I say that. But in terms of winning this fight, I think these odds are so unbelievably incorrect it is shocking to me. I cannot believe, after watching the Tatiana Suarez and Zhang Weili fight, that Weili is still an underdog in any fight. How? What is the path to victory for Shevchenko? You know what I mean? You got all these people talking about Shevchenko like she's fucking King Vaughn out there, like she's sliming everybody out. She's been washed for upwards of 4 years. Legitimately has been washed since UFC 266. And we're talking about, oh my god, man. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, if Shevchenko lands this, the whole game changes. And it's like showing her throwing like a spinning heel kick. Brother, she hasn't done that in 7 years. Shevchenko doesn't fight like that anymore. People had this idea of Valentina Shevchenko. Like she's this marauder, this unbeatable girl. Guess what? She lost. It wasn't lucky. Like Grasso had, some momentum going her way in that fight, and it was going to be another boring Valentina decision. In recent years, Valentina has been scared to hurt her legacy and instead is point fighting her way to decisions. She only beat Alexa in the trilogy, and I thought she beat Alexa in the second fight for what it's worth, but she beat Alexa on the basis of takedowns. It wasn't that she stood there and tried to make it exciting with her. She took her down and held her. One of the most boring title fights that I can remember in recent years. Manon Fior, point fought at range for 5 rounds straight. Landed one big shot that floored Fior and did nothing with it. Taila Santos arguably lost that fight. I thought she lost that fight. Ever since the Taila Santos fight, Valentina has decided she would way rather just stay safe for 5 rounds. You cannot do that and beat Zhang Weili. You have to be able to put pressure on Zhang Weili and hurt Zhang Weili, which is what Rose Namajunas did in their 2 fights. Now, I will say the grappling is interesting, but it's clear that Zhang Weili has worked on it. Considering you're going against the best grappler, and by the way, Tatiana Suarez is basically a fucking bantamweight. But to go against Tatiana Suarez, who's massive for the division, and to take her down, and to stuff all of her takedowns, I believe that it's ridiculous to have Valentina Shevchenko as the favorite. I think Weili is going to dominate this fight. I think she's going to win 4-1 or 5-0 if she doesn't get a finish. And I think people are going to be shocked that she was ever an underdog. I'm telling you right now, I'm putting money. I'm putting hard-earned USD on Zhang Weili. I think it's ridiculous. She's not undersized. She's an inch shorter than Valentina. Valentina is not the same girl that we've seen when she beat Lauren Murphy or Jessica Andrade or Joanna the first time. You know what I mean? I don't think that that is the same girl anymore. I don't think she takes her career seriously. I think she just enjoys being the champ. And it is what it is. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili wins this by decision. I should add that I think Islam wins by decision too. So, shout out to those 2 fights. I think, bro, if Valentina wins, I'd be shocked. She'd have to turn back the clock to win, in my opinion. Like, I think that people are being gaslit by Twitter. Like, they're looking at highlights. It's like people who think that fucking Rakic is going to win every single time he gets a fucking matchup made. Brother, Rakic hasn't head kicked anybody in 10 years. So don't believe Twitter. Same thing with Michelle Pereira, and we'll talk about Kyle Daukus in a little bit. Stop believing Twitter and TikTok clips about highlights. They're showing you Reebok era highlights. The Jessica I fight happened fucking 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, we don't, that's not a reality anymore, what she did to Jessica I. She hasn't done that to anybody. If she does that to Zhang Weili, then fucking may God smite me and strike me down right now. But I doubt that happens. I think Zhang Weili wins a decision. Let's keep it going, man. Featured fight. Sean Brady and Michael Morales. Sean Brady's coming off a win against Leon Edwards in March. Very dominant. Michael Morales, equally dominant. Coming off a win against Gilbert Burns back in, was it like May or some shit, I think? I think it was May. Sean Brady, 32. Michael Morales, a young 26. I am going to be switching my pick from Tuesday. I have been moved by Michael Morales. Listen, this dude's been posting thirst traps forever now on TikTok. Every time I get him on my For You page, he's fucking trying to seduce me. I'm not down. Although he's going to seduce a belt this way if he wins on Saturday. Sean Brady, I've rewatched a couple of Sean Brady fights since Tuesday. He has not faced adversity since the Belal fight. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a different fighter. He's a little more grapple friendly. But in terms of striking, no one has given him any adversity on the feet striking. We know he wilted in the one fight that he had to legitimately defend strikes and had to stand with someone because he couldn't get them down, and ultimately got TKO'd by Belal Muhammad. Now, imagine what Michael Morales can do if he can stay on his feet. Michael Morales has a judo and wrestling background. That's how he started in MMA. It was not boxing. It was not kickboxing. And I believe that if he can just, and this is, I mean, my opinion, truthfully, he needs to win this in the first round to win this fight. Because after the first round, Morales is going to gas. He's not going to punch as hard. And he can't push the pace he wants to. I keep yawning. I think Morales, if he catches him with something early, will hurt him and finish him. And I hope that's what happens. Because I believe that is what's going to happen. I'm going to predict a Michael Morales round 1 KO over Sean Brady, which is going to be very anti-establishment to what a lot of people think is going to happen. But I've been moved by Michael Morales. I did tweet that I was not moved by him after his fight versus Gilbert, but I don't know, man. Like, Gilbert was in the best shape of his life, really wanted to be there, and got fucking frauded. So, why not, man? Fucking Michael Morales. Let's get him a title shot after this, dude. Like, fucking, I don't know. Let's make it happen. I like Morales to win here. I'm going to say round 1 KO. if it happens, call me the fucking messiah of YouTube. Call me Mystic Manziel. We're taking over Conor McGregor's title in 2025. So shout out Michael Morales. I'm familiar. Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates. Leon Edwards is coming off back-to-back losses to Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady. Carlos Prates is coming off the win against Jeff Neal in August. Very active for him to come back this fast, which I like. And Carlos Prates has finished 20 of 22. Leon Decision Merchant Edwards has finished 10 of 22. In terms of who I believe is going to win this fight, listen, I think Carlos Prates gets this done. I did pick Leon on Tuesday, just kind of for the sake of aura farming and doing an impression, but I'm here right now. Listen, we all of us involved in watching, making, listening to this video love CP. Every single one of us loves watching CP. Every Saturday, we love watching it. It's our favorite type of entertainment, and it is what it is, But on the other hand, like, Leon is still dragging this headshot dead shit. I don't know if you guys have seen the embedded clip of him talking about it. Fucking play the clip, please. Leon Edwards is one of the funniest fucking... He's so funny, man. I don't know if you can make a guy more autistic than him other than Yuri. But I do believe that Carlos Prates wins. I believe he KOs Leon. Not a popular opinion that people have had. I think a lot of people think it's going to be a close decision, kind of point fighty. I disagree. Leon's chinny as fuck. He struggled southpaw against Nate Diaz. That's how he got caught with the left, was out of southpaw. I think the step and knees are going to be a problem. I think the elbows are going to be a problem. I think punching power is too much on the Prates side. And I think Leon is going to struggle. Listen, the concept of Leon Edwards is really cool. Where it's like this super fast striker, powerful kicks, good elbows, knees, and overall a very well-rounded grappling game in general. Now the issue with Leon Edwards is he is dumb in real life, and he's stupid, and he's balding on top of his head. Bald spot dead is what they're calling him nowadays. That's what the kids say, at least. And I think that Leon gets in the cage, and he just has this thing where he can't go. He just can't fire. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what it is, but if he would let his strikes go and stop trying to be a counter striker so much, he would win fights. He could beat the highest level guys. He is as good of a striker as there is. And it sucks that we live in a world where, fucking Leon refuses to throw strikes. But it is what it is, and it's going to cost him here. I think Prates KOs him probably round 2. I think he hurts him at some point in round 1. It's like, oh shit. Then Leon kind of survives, so like maybe Leon can turn it around, and then Carlos KOs him round 2. That's my opinion. I think that's what happens. Shout out CP. We love you, brother. Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint-Denis is the final fight on the main card of UFC 322. Beneil Dariush is coming off that win in June over Renato Moicano, whereas Benoit Saint-Denis is coming off of that win over Mauricio Rufy in September. Very active for Benoit. I love to see him getting back into it. It's good when a guy who didn't have confidence for a while is very active now that he's winning. He knows he needs to keep the momentum rolling. This is a very interesting matchup because on one hand, Beneil Dariush is fucking washed. Chinny as hell, chinny as ever. He was always chinny, but now it's really like, fuck. Like, Beneil Dariush is old and chinny and slow. The issue is he can still grapple his ass off. That was the big thing with Moicano, was Moicano did try and shoot, but Beneil was the one that did the wrestling. An interesting factor to me in this fight will be Beneil Dariush's striking and Benoit Saint-Denis striking. I believe that they are both such good grapplers that they will I think they're going to kind of mitigate each other. Like, Beneil does have good offensive wrestling. I wonder if he's going to use it here. Because Benoit can be taken down and controlled on the ground. He is able to get back up. He's very athletic. But the issue to me is that striking-wise, I believe Benoit's a little better. And I don't mean that in the sense of cleaner. I mean he lands more than you. He will run forward at you, fucking hands down, ready to get knocked out cold. And throwing elbows, looping shots, body kicks. He's going to start with that body kick down the middle. And I just think that Benoit is too tough for Beneil. Beneil is going to wilt at the first sign of pressure here. He didn't have a chance to do it versus Moicano because he got knocked down at the very end of the round. But I just think that Beneil doesn't have aspirations anymore in the sport. I think he's just kind of doing it for his family and for money, which I respect. Do what you got to do at the end of the day. I think Benoit is going to fucking walk this dude down, striking and knock him out. I've been saying this for the past few months now. As soon as this fight got announced, I thought that Benoit would KO him. I think it is an interesting factor. I might put money on it because I'm that confident in it. This dude has never had a win by decision. I do not think that happens here on Saturday. I think you could get a main card with a bunch of finishes. I'd say more than likely Weili and Shevchenko is not a finish. The rest of them have finish potential. So I love that in the main card. I think Benoit knocks this dude out in the second round. I think first round Benil controls him on the ground. I think he takes him down off of that body kick, kind of Moicano style. I think Benoit takes very little damage, comes out there and knocks him out in the second round. Take my word for it. We cannot go broke taking a cannot go broke making a profit. And that is what we are doing in the Big 25. So shout out Benoit Saint-Denis. We're picking you, brother. Let's move on to the prelims. Bo Nickel, welcome to the prelims, brother. Never in your life are you seeing a fucking main card again. It's a disgrace that you were ever on main cards to begin with, but it is what it is. Welcome back. Bo Nickel is back after his KO loss to Reinier de Ridder in May, whereas Rodolfo Vieira beat, who was it? It was like Treyshaw Gore, I want to say was his last win. I believe it was Treyshawn Gore, and he won striking. But it was really because he was just throwing fucking jabs at range, and Treyshawn's dog shit, so he lost. Um, Listen, this fight is really interesting to me. On the one hand, right, Bo Nickel, very high level wrestler, can get anyone down. He did get Reinier de Ridder down, but ultimately quit. I mean, that is the truth, by the way. And people want to fucking make up like, oh my god, man, Reinier de Ridder's knees will finish anybody, bro. They didn't finish Robert Whitaker. You know what I mean? Bo Nickel looked like he wanted to quit as soon as the first punch was landing in the clinch. He's like acting annoyed. He's like, get off me. You know, like that's when he's got the punches hitting him in the face. Um, and then the knee, he like quits to a shot that wasn't that hard. Like, I don't know, man. And he was fine. Like, he's already going on fucking hikes with this kid again. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Bo Nickel as like a dude that's built for this, if you get what I mean. Rodolfo Vieira is built for this. However, Rodolfo Vieira also has been submitted before, which is crazy, and his gas tank is terrible. Bo Nickel will push a pace. I think Bo Nickel can win this at range striking, and I'm going to pick him because of it. I believe this looks like the Paul Craig fight. Either he takes him down, submits him right away, or it's very Paul Craig-esque, stands at range, boring, tippy-tappy, probably knocks himself over trying to throw a fucking head kick again. That's kind of my guess for what this fight looks like. Shout out to Bo Nickel. Said he would be a minus 1,000 favorite against Hamzat, and he is currently a minus 235 against a 75-year-old Rodolfo Vieira. So, life comes at you fast. Shout out to Bo Nickel. Let's keep it moving. Roman Kopylov and Gregory Rodrigues. Very interesting matchup. We got fucking evil Ben Askren versus Barack Obama. In terms of the matchup, both are very chinny. I fucking love this matchup, by the way. One of my favorite fights on the card is this one. RoboCop, in terms of just literal power, is fucking unbelievable. I haven't seen anyone do that. Pfeiffer didn't do that to Hermanson. You know what I mean? I sound like fucking Joe Rogan. I mean, who does that to this guy? You know, no one's done it to Neil Magny like that before, guys. But no, Roman Kopylov also can fucking crack. He's got serious power in his kicks. Not as much in his punching, but his kicks have serious effect. This is legitimately going to be about whose chin gets touched first, in my opinion. And I know it's weird to say because like Kopylov doesn't have a KO loss, but dude, Paulo Costa hurt him literally with every single strike that landed. So I feel like there's a little bit of leeway to say that he's chinny because he got knocked down, hurt horribly. Every punch seemed to wobble him. I think RoboCop hits harder than Paulo too, so you know it is what it is. I think RoboCop wins. Let me be clear. I think RoboCop wins here. I think he KOs Roman Kopylov. I wouldn't be shocked if he stiffens him. Now, I will say that if you're a gambling man, if you're really putting your life on the line, I would just take the fight to end by KO. I think it has to end by KO. I think they are both heavy hitters that if one of them lands on the other's chin, it's over. RoboCop's chin is non-existent. Roman Kopylov's chin ain't much better. I just think RoboCop punches a little harder than Kopylov, so I tend to go on the side of the puncher as opposed to the kicker when it comes to power, but we'll see what happens. I like RoboCop to win this fight. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm saying a lot of second round knockouts. Give me a first round knockout for RoboCop. Yeah, we'll go first round knockout. Fucking gets it done inside the distance. Shout out Kopylov or RoboCop. I think we're gonna have a lot of finishes on this card, so let's keep it moving. Speaking of fights that aren't gonna be finishes, Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez. Somebody is getting finished, but it will not be one of the girls in this fight. Listen, Tracy Cortez, welcome back. We are happy to have you back here. Aaron Blanchfield, a little less happy to be honest with you. She's got a little bit of a forehead on her, but we'll make it work. Listen, Aaron Blanchfield is coming off a win against Rose Namajunas. It's been like a year. I don't know why she's had this long layoff. I don't know. Oh, you know what? She was supposed to fight Macy Barber. That's why. Macy Barber and her had that fight canceled. It was supposed to not be this long of a layoff. Tracy Cortez beat Viviane Araújo at UFC 317, I believe. I like how active she is. She was decently competitive with Rose Namajunas. Ultimately got taken down kind of in the middle of each round, and it stalled her out a bit. But she did steal the fourth. I believe she stole the fourth and the fifth. But it is what it is. Shout out Tracy. I think Aaron Blanchfield wins this fight. Listen, this is a rematch of a regional fight where Tracy Cortez won, I believe, in Invicta, which is that women's MMA promotion. Listen, this is the only women's MMA fight we are watching in all of 2025. Then we're leaving until Tracy comes back. So shout out to the Tracy holics out there. I believe Blanchfield wins. I don't know what happened in the first fight for where Blanchfield didn't win, but I will say that Tracy got taken down 5 out of 5 times by Rose, controlled for 7 minutes. I think 3-rounders favor Aaron Blanchfield a lot more here. I think it was a 5-rounder. I'd lean Tracy's way. But Tracy is a boxer at heart. She can grapple. She likes to grapple, but she doesn't need to. And I think ultimately that you're going to see a fight play out where anytime they're on the feet, Tracy's going to look better and more powerful, slicker. She's got very good boxing. For women's MMA especially, Tracy's boxing's fast and legit. Blanchfield's going to take her down and wet blanket her, in my opinion. Tracy's going to work her way back up. She's probably going to like fucking do like some like Latina rage and shit. You know, like fucking yelling slurs at her in Spanish. But I think Aaron Blanchfield wet blankets her to a decision. I'd be a little surprised if that isn't the outcome. I think the books know what they're doing by making Tracy Cortez such a sizable underdog and a fighter that she beat before. So we'll go Aaron Blanchfield. I'll be crying in the club when Tracy loses. Malcolm Wellmaker and Cody Haddon. Listen, I will admit right now I've never watched a Cody Haddon fight. I have claimed to have watched all of the film. I've never seen Cody Haddon fight. I will be watching later today just to get a sense of how he looks out there and how he will pose a threat to Malcolm Wellmaker, because a lot of people are picking Cody Haddon to win this fight. I am not, however. I'm going to be going with Malcolm Wellmaker. God forbid I like a fucking cool prospect in 2025. Malcolm Wellmaker's been KOing dudes left and right. He does have a couple decisions on his resume, which I didn't really know about, but shout out to bro. He hits so fucking hard. Cody Haddon has never fought in front of a crowd before in the UFC. He was in the Apex for the Contender Series and in the Apex for Fight Night versus Dan Argueta, who, by the way, is not UFC level. So that's kind of issue number one, is he hasn't fought a guy who's a UFC level talent. I will say, I don't know what the chin of Cody Haddon looks like. I'll have to go back and watch his fights. But it's not like Malcolm Wellmaker hasn't been fighting really chinny fucking dudes. Chris Moutinho's tough as hell. I think no one's ever put him out like that, so I'll give him credit. We know Wellmaker can crack. That's not out of the question. But Simon was chinny coming in. Fucking, who the hell was the other dude he fought? He KO'd some dude on the Contender Series. I don't know who the hell Malcolm Wellmaker fought before that. Probably also chinny. And yeah, dude, I like Malcolm Wellmaker. I think he wins. I want him to win badly. Just for the sake of the bit. Like, I think it would be awesome to get another KO here. I think if Cody Haddon wins, it's a decision. And I want a card with finishes, man. It's 2025. Let's get some finishes on a pay-per-view. Unlike UFC 321, that dog shit ass card. Let's keep it rolling here. Kyle Daukus and Gerald Meerschaert. We are all tuning into this fight. This is the big enchilada. This is the big fight that we are all watching. We are here to watch Gerald Meerschaert in the year of our Lord 2025 win by third round submission. Just kidding. There's no fucking way that happens. Kyle Daukus was an underdog, like a +2 something underdog versus Michelle Pereira, which is why I'm picking John Weili. Because you need to understand, people have this idea of somebody. They pretend like their last fights didn't happen. They're like, oh shit, bro. Like, no, we got it. So many people are picking Leon Edwards. Like, Sean Brady didn't fucking ragdoll him and Leon didn't look like the worst version of himself ever in that fight. You know what I mean? You have to take people for how they fought. It's like Ronda Rousey said, although she said in like kind of a bitchy and annoying way. It is a what have you done for me lately sport, and how you look in your last fight is how how we are going to perceive you coming into your next one, and how you tend to look. That's why all this big game talking that like Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, fucking when Tony was on that losing streak. They all talk like, "Oh my god, I'm a changed man now. I've made some serious adjustments." We still saw your last fight, dude. And with Kyle Daukus, seeing his last fight, he's got to have confidence. In the same way, GM3 got KO'd by fucking Mikhail Oluwachechuk. They're talking about Mikhail like he's a fucking prospect now, because he beat Rodrigues Dumas in GM3. So I like Kyle Daukus to win this fight. I'm not touching this because GM3 is annoying with his chin sometimes. So we'll pick Daukus to win here. I have no clue how, probably by KO, but he could sub GM3. I mean, GM3 is like 10 fucking submission losses. If I was GM3, I would leave the UFC and take like a regional fight versus like a fucking Butterbean type of character to get that 30th submission win and then retire. That's my game plan if I'm GM3. So we'll see what happens. Over under 1.5 times that GM3 fucking pulls guard and sits there until he gets stopped. We'll see what happens there. Shout out to Kyle Daukus, so he wins this fight. Pat Sabatini and Shep Mariscal. Another fight where I think people are really overlooking, I think the books are overlooking just the general nature of this fight. Pat Sabatini, nothing has changed with this dude. It's not like he looked like a different type of animal versus Joe Anderson Brito. Well, it pissed me off that he won because I picked Joe Anderson Brito to win. Pat Sabatini just laid in half guard the entire time. It wasn't like, oh my god, man, Pat Sabatini's evolved, dude. This is the next level of MMA. Like when Joe Rogan pulls people on his podcast, I don't know, man. You reached a new level this fight. You're really, you're champ material now, Pat Sabatini. You get out of there, man. You do not want to be there with Pat Sabatini. Chet Mariscal has not lost a fight in like 6 years. He's fought legitimately everybody. And Pat Sabatini has never, in my opinion, really shown me that he is going to be able to outgrit anybody. He's incredibly chinny. Chebe has power in his hands. He's going to outgrit Sabatini, in my opinion. I think he drops the first round and then wins a split decision. That's my opinion. Chebe Mariscal has fought Bryce Mitchell, Yusuf Zalal, Gregor Gillespie, and Steve Garcia. And I believe there's more on that list, by the way, that I didn't even mention. He has fought legitimately everybody. And that was all regional. He has a win over Yusuf Zalal. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that level of experience works very well in your favor once you get to the UFC to face so many of those guys, the top level guys already. And I believe that Chet Mariscal wins here. I said TKO in my slideshow because I was trying to fucking aura farm, but I do think that he wins a decision versus Pat Sabatini. We'll see what happens, obviously. I mean, Sabatini could just sit in half guard for 3 rounds and be a boring fuck. But let's hope he isn't. So we're going Chet here. Angela Hill versus Fatima Kline. Angela Hill is 40 years old and has a whopping record. Brace yourself for this, kids. There is a fighter in the UFC with an 18-15 record. Angela Hill. You're still going to get people like, oh my god, man, Angela Hill, dude, what a savage. What a pioneer of women's MMA. She's 18-15. You know what I mean? Fatima Kline is 8-1. She's actually talented at the sport. Her only loss in the UFC and in her career is to Jasmine Jasudavicius. I'm fine with that. She landed a nasty head kick KO in her last fight. She's got 2 finishes in a row. I like women that can finish, I like to watch women get finishes on screen. If you get what I'm saying. We all enjoy watching women get finishes on screen in the UFC. And we will continue to enjoy watching that, especially if Tracy Cortez gets a finish. So, let's see what happens. I'm going Fatima Kline. Think she wins this one. And yeah, man, I don't fucking know. We got, I think, 2 more fights on this card. Yeah, we do. Baisangur, Susurkaev, and Eric Mcconico. Fascinating matchmaking. I don't know why the fuck Susurkaev gets Eric Mcconico next. We got like dudes like fucking coming into the UFC. Like Aaron Pico had to fight Lerone Murphy in his debut. Baisangur, Susurkaev. This guy tried to aura farm after his last fight. He's like trying to get people to chant his name and shit. And like everyone in the arena's like blown. They're like, bro, like I don't want to fucking chant your name. You know what I mean? He's gonna win this fight though. There's no breakdown needed. Mcconico's dog shit. He beats Cody Garbrandt by a split decision. I thought Cody could have won that fight, but it was one of the worst fights I've ever watched. Zero offense on either side. I'm not moved in the slightest way. I think fucking Bissinger wins probably by KO round one or round two. Is a little chinny. I think there's going to be a time to fade him, but it ain't now. So we'll go with Bissinger for the time being. Finally, Slava Borschev, or Vyacheslav Borschev, should I say, versus Mateusz Camilo. Now, I would do a breakdown of this fight, but you need to look no further than the fact that Mateusz Camilo has submitted two people in his career. I don't care if you've had 57 fights. If you have one submission win, I am going to pick you against Slava Claus. Slava Claus has zero fucking takedown defense. He somehow has been fighting for God knows how long. He just doesn't even train wrestling, I don't think. I think he legitimately just trains kickboxing. He's like, fuck it. Well, if they take me down, they take me down kind of vibe. Um, I think Camilo wins. I will say losing to Gabe Green is fucking hilarious because Gabe Green is dog shit. But you're not going to get submitted by Slava Claus. So either Camilo gets slimed out on the feet or he takes down Slava Claus and finishes him there. Could be a club and sub situation. You never know. Camilo can crack a little bit. So time will tell on this one. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. 31 minutes, probably going to be 32, give or take. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. We're on the road to 500 right now, which is crazy to say out loud. I appreciate all the support. My TikTok is at MoneyManziel MMA. I post on there every single day. I post a YouTube short every single day. So stay tuned for those. Tomorrow, probably will come up with some bullshit to talk about. And in the meantime, have a beautiful Thursday, everybody. It is fight week. Place your bets now. Don't let the fucking betting, don't let the books get to you with that closing line value. Place your bets now. Figure out what you're confident in. Don't overdo it. I'll see you in the next one. Go attack the day, boys. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's Money Manziel everywhere. Peace out, guys.